I will be completely honest with you. I am the most laid back, simplistic, not doing a ton of planning, go with the flow, let's get in, let's enjoy this without stress, without chaos. And so that's how I do it. I take a very simplistic, straight to the point, what works for my family, not a ton of work, not a ton of just freaking out and organization and all the bits and all the pieces. Let's do life and let's make this an enjoyable process for all involved. For me, those are huge priorities. I'm Heidi with Heavenly Minded Home, and welcome to today's video. I have been sharing with you guys all this week about homeschool because we love talking about all the homey things. So homemaking, homeschooling, home discipleship, homesteading, that's what we cover here with an eternal heavenly minded perspective. And so kind of back to homeschool being in the air, all of the things we have going on. If you are seeing this video before 2 p.m. on Friday, the 28th, come and join us for our first ever virtual back to school open house that we are doing. You can get the link down in the description. If you're seeing this after the fact, it's okay. We will get you guys the information as well. But talking this week all about homeschool and our approach to it, because I believe in homeschool 1,000,000,000%. We've been doing this for the past, dozen years. We just graduated our son this past year. We have our 3 girls now that we are homeschooling. And I think it's so amazing, especially for all Christian families. And so I love talking about this topic. And I also have found over the past 5.5 years of being on YouTube that we do this a little bit differently than sometimes other people do. And that's fine, right? You have to do what works best for you and your family. And that's why we're passionate about sharing these things. And so today I wanted to share with you guys just 5 steps to a back to homeschool rhythm that actually works for you. Because I know for me, I found when I started, following other people on Instagram and looking at different homeschool stuff that I really felt like I didn't measure up. Like I just was not doing it how they were doing it. And then you start to second guess yourself and go, man, am I doing it wrong? Our homeschool doesn't look like their homeschool. They have these, full schedules and these perfectly curated tables and these special homeschool rooms and all of these different things. And I don't have any of those things. Are my kids not doing enough? Are they not getting enough? Am I doing this wrong? And it really can be difficult. And so I like sharing because we do it a little different than some families. And it doesn't mean that your family needs to do it like our family. It's just that there are other ways to do it. It doesn't have to look like I think we see most of the time when you're following homeschooly type things on the internet. And so first and foremost, before you get into figuring out your rhythm and kind of setting this kind of schedule and routine for your back to homeschool, I think it's really important to know your end goal and your priority in your homeschool. So if you missed yesterday's video, we'll go ahead and link it right up here for you. So that way you guys can go and see what I'm talking about there. We want to make sure that we're getting down to the root of the matter, the heart of the matter. We're not just looking at the surface level stuff, which is great. We have to address those things, but we really want to make sure that the foundation, the deep stuff is also being covered. So that way we're setting ourselves, our family, and our children up for ultimate success. So all of that being said, let's talk about these very simple 5 tips that I promise you will be huge in creating this perfect back to homeschool rhythm that actually works for your family. My first tip here with your back to homeschool, right? We've probably taken a summer break. Even for us, we homeschool year round, but we still take some breaks in the summer. When you are trying to get back to your homeschool rhythm, first and foremost, remember that you want to ease into it. You've probably been going for a little bit here, whether you're brand new to homeschooling or you've just kind of taken a summer break, you're trying to get ready for this new school year. Don't feel the need to go from summer routine to school routine in the blink of an eye. That's most always a recipe for disaster. Yes, there's usually some excitement for a new school year and kind of getting into our new rhythm and doing all of that, and that's fantastic. You want to really foster that. but it can be really difficult to take our kids from this like laid back kind of summer rhythm and routine that we've been doing for a little while, and then all of a sudden you expect them to be full throttle, ready to go into the new school year. And so when you're setting up this new rhythm, this new routine, this new schedule for what you want your homeschool to look like, maybe take into account kind of easing into this, not feeling the need to go 150% right out of the gate, but kind of looking at what you really need to be getting done while allowing some room for letting everybody kind of get back into it, kind of get back into this rhythm of having school time, having table time, maybe co-op, whatever it is that you're doing. Allow a little bit of grace and room in your routine before just going full throttle out the bat, like making sure everything is getting done. It is okay to have like a soft opening. It is okay to kind of ease into this. And if you guys want to know how we're applying this for our homeschool in our home, definitely be sure to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications, because next week I'm going to show you quite literally how we're doing this and what our goals for this first month back to school, what our routine and rhythm looks like as we apply these very same principles. Now, as you're sitting down and you're trying to think through and plan out what exactly back to homeschool is going to look like for you and your family, I personally use this handy dandy planner here. I have made my own Heavenly Minded Home Homeschool Homemaker Planner, and I have my tabs ready here with everything printed out so that I can kind of write these things down and think them through. And when I'm trying to put together our plan, our rhythm, our routine of what we're going to be doing, I want to make sure that I am taking into account what our days have already been looking like. This kind of goes hand in hand with easing into it. But if our days have looked like nobody waking up until later in the day, kind of staying up a little bit late at night, lots of outdoor play time, and kind of going at our own speed, I want to account for that in this new rhythm, because maybe I do want us getting up a little bit earlier and being a little more ready to get going and kind of having classes and things that we need to get to. But if I just want to do that, right away, again, recipe for disaster, friends. Learn from all of our mistakes and don't do that yourself. If my kiddos haven't really been getting up and going till about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then all of a sudden I want next Monday to be back to school and we're going to be up and at it at 7 a.m., that's not going to go well for anyone. And so I want to take into account how our daily rhythm has been going. Maybe we need to start moving to an earlier bedtime. Maybe we need to start eating a little bit earlier in the day. Maybe we need to start making some adjustments, but I want to kind of balance those so that way we aren't just having this massive, really harsh shift, but we're kind of rolling into it and setting us up for success. So kind of think about how your days have been going for the past, the past month or so. If you want to get my planner and download it, and you can kind of start taking the next couple days to kind of write, what time have we been waking up? What time do I notice my kids are really focused and into something? What time am I noticing that they're just done? They want to go play or they need a nap. Kind of write these things down so as you start to then plot out your new back to homeschool rhythm, you can take those things into account as you figure out the best times to be doing school, to be taking classes, to be going to the park or taking a nap. It really does make a difference. So now that we've really thought about what our days look like and kind of what we've already been kind of doing, the next step that I would highly recommend is for you to really think about the prime brain hours for your kiddos. This makes such a difference when setting up your rhythm. And what I mean by this is to take into account your children, their ages, the season of life that they're in. What really is that best time of day to engage them, right? I believe that learning is everywhere. If you guys listen to our homeschool philosophy and how we go about it, you'll learn some more on that area of it. But all of us have a time of day where we are most focused. We are most ready to absorb. We are most ready to kind of give in a skill set way. Now, some people, morning time, that's it. You wake up refreshed, you're ready to go, and then you're ready to head out and enjoy your day and you're kind of done. I think most all of us really have a time of day that by this time, I'm done. You're not getting a lot of productivity out of me after a certain time. And I think that's really important when educating our children to stop and think what works best for them. Do you have little ones that the moment they wake up, they hit the ground running and they're ready to go? They're ready to be engaged. They're ready to do something. Like those are their prime brain hours. Where maybe if you wait until later in the day, they're kind of worn out. Maybe they need a nap or some quiet time. Maybe they just need to get outside and get to run and play, but they're not ready to be sitting down and doing like book work or activity work later in the day. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you have a teenager who's needing a little more sleep. And so being up and at it first thing in the morning is not the optimal time for them to be giving their best to their education. And so stop and think about that. And it's okay to say, hey, what works best for our family is digging into the deep stuff in the evening. That's fine. You can do that. Maybe for your family, you guys like being up and getting everything done really early in the day and then having your days open for other things. Fantastic, do that. But when you're planning out this rhythm, I literally write it all out in my book. When you're planning this rhythm out, stop and think about what those optimal brain hours really are for each and every one of your kiddos. The fourth tip that I have to offer when it comes to creating the just perfect back to homeschool rhythm and routine for your family is don't feel the need to jam pack the schedule. Again, especially when we're trying to ease into a new rhythm, especially when we're going to get, back to our homeschool routine, especially if you're brand new to homeschool and you're still working on kind of deschooling and figuring out what homeschool looks like for your family. We don't want to overload the system. And I know I am guilty of this more times than not. I get so excited. I want to do all the curriculums, all the things, all the activities. I want to schedule out our day from the time we wake up until the time we go to bed because I have so many fun things I just can't wait to get into. And then I end up overloading the system. Maybe we do good with it for like a week or two, and then we inevitably crash and burn. The kids are just tired and maxed out, and I'm just not setting us up for a successful back to homeschool time. And so I really encourage you to think about what matters, what your priorities truly are, and then to be okay with there being open space for boredom, open space for creativity, for adventure, for exploration. These things are so incredibly important. And again, next week I will share exactly how we're doing this in our homeschool, because I think it is important to say, hey, it's okay if you don't have this fully maxed out routine. It's okay to let our kids explore. It's okay to let our kids be bored, because again, that boredom is the catalyst to creativity. It's okay to have that space there and to not just jam pack and overload your system. We're gonna have seasons of life that are busier. I know for our family, we totally do, but especially when we're first kind of rolling back into a new homeschool year, leaving a little bit of space and time there. Things end up taking longer that maybe didn't take us as long last year, but now this year they're taking longer. And so if I've just jam-packed our schedule, we're getting off track. And then I start to get worried because my whole plan I just put together is now completely destroyed because this took longer. And then I'm getting stressed and I'm getting short with the kids, and then they're getting cranky. And then my poor husband walks out and he's like, what is going on? I thought like this was an exciting new back to homeschool year, and now everybody's just cranky and miserable. That's not what we want to do, you guys. So it's okay to say, you know what? We're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it minimal. We're going to leave lots of open time and give ourselves room for grace. You do not need to jam pack your schedules. My fifth and final tip that I pray can be an encouragement and a help to you as you put together your back to homeschool rhythm and really set your family up for a successful homeschool year would be to make sure that you are leaving plenty of time in your day for play, for exploration, for fun, for family, just relationship building and adventure, because that's what life's about. Yes, of course, there's things that we need to tackle, we need to take care of, we have our responsibilities, of course. But let's remember to focus on those things that really matter, on a beautiful childhood, on a family that is growing and building together, and on doing life and enjoying it, seeking out God's blessings each and every day. So remember as you do that, that those things are important. For our younger kids, play is one of the most important things that they can be doing. That's their work, that's what they're doing, and we want to make sure that they have ample time for that. Even for our older kids and up through our teens, make sure that they have plenty of time to pursue the things that they're interested in, to get outside, to explore creation, and to really just see learning as something that happens everywhere and something that we truly love and desire to do continuously with whatever the Lord puts before us. And so as you're doing this, just remember that as important as it is to know how to read and write and do arithmetic, it's important to play, to adventure, to explore, to pursue the things that interest them. So if you want to set up a back to homeschool rhythm that really does work for your family, I promise you implementing these 5 tips will be huge key factors in setting your home, your family, your back to homeschool up for success. Friends, I truly pray that this can be an encouragement to you in your home. And whether you've been homeschooling for a million years or you're brand new at this, that you know that we are here cheering you on and truly praying that we can offer stuff that can help you and your family, because we're passionate about this. We've seen the benefit that has just been so front and center for our family. And if this can help you and your family, absolutely, that's what we're here for. And so again, you guys, we have our Heavenly Minded Homeschool Academy. We're doing that back to school open house if you see this before 2 p.m. And otherwise, you guys can come and learn all about it. I will link the website down below. We have classes that are being offered, from Bible classes, reading, writing, so many fun things, even Minecraft club and art classes. It's going to be so wonderful. We've got lots of exciting things coming out soon. So if you guys want to sign up for our newsletter, that's down in the description. That way you guys don't miss out on any of these updates. Otherwise, head over to the website, check out the resources, get the Homemaker Homeschool Planner, anything that we can do to help encourage and equip you. We're here to do it. You can pass this video along to another mama who's maybe trying to get it all together and kind of overwhelmed and trying to make sure it all works out and all comes together. We got this, you guys. One day at a time, we can do this to the glory of God as we train up our children in the ways of the Lord. So thank you all so much for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with something else right up here that I think you will enjoy. So you guys go watch that, subscribe and turn on those bell notifications, and I will see you right back here tomorrow. Bye, friends.